Decisions, decisions, decisions. In our lives, we all have to make some important decisions sooner or later. We face questions such as, where should I go to school? Where shall I send my children to school? Whom shall I marry? What vocation should I follow? Where shall I live? What job shall I apply for? There are many decisions in our life where we spend time thinking about them, asking advice, trying to decide what we should do. Organizations also have to make important decisions. Businesses, for example, make certain financial decisions. In these days, we are in the process of electing a president of the United States. That's an important decision for our entire nation, and all of us are involved in it. The church, too, has to make some decisions from time to time. Perhaps the most important decision the church ever made occurred about 20 years after the death of Jesus. It was a time of phenomenal growth. It was a time when not only Jews, but especially Gentiles, non-Jews, were joining the church. And the question was, did they need to become Jews before they were Christians? Did they have to give up some of their cultural practices before being saved? We hear about the process of making this decision in today's reading from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 15. Paul also makes some comments on it in his letter to the Galatians, chapter 2. The apostles, disciples gathered together, Peter and Paul, James and John, and many other disciples. And they spent time talking about it and trying to figure out what they should do. They came to a momentous decision, a decision that even affects you and me. Perhaps we wouldn't be in the church today if they had not made this decision. The decision was that Gentiles did not have to become Jews in order to become Christians. They did not have to give up their own cultural practices and traditions in order to be saved. There were a few minimal obligations, that's true, but otherwise the Gentiles were free to become Christians and not become Jews first. It meant that the church was no longer just another Jewish sect. It meant that the church became inclusive and became truly Catholic, that is universal, that anyone from any culture could become Christian, could become a member of the church. We still make our own decisions, and of course we want to think about them and pray about them, but we should also be guided in a way that the early church was, and that is to have the help of the Holy Spirit. The Spirit that Jesus promised in the Gospel of John was present with the church in this decision. In fact, they said, the Holy Spirit has decided, and we too, as if it were almost a secondary thought. May we, in our decisions and in the church's decisions of today, go beyond our own narrow cultural boundaries, and may we too be always guided by the Holy Spirit.